Spend a lot of time outside on the prowl all the time. A lot of outside noise from the crowd all the time. A lot of foul-ass women trying to cloud my vision, be around all the time. Crowd my pimpin', if you can't be trusted, then I can't handcuff it. And if you can't be held, why the hell would I touch? Bluetooth, hands on, bad business, bad karma, bad timing, bad love, bullshit. What it is, how you doing, where you been? And where your mind at, mama, I ain't seen you in a minute, hey. You still trying to be the boss, call shots, trying to tie loose ends like you ain't good with what you got. And go ahead, big girl, go ahead, do your thing. Probably about a billion billionaires want to pin you with a name, hey, but I don't play game, hey, and I don't play, hey, and I ain't holla at me, baby. Something like that. But I don't play game, never been a plaything, never been a hater, so I hope you find a good thing. Boo-boo, guess what, Brian?
What's that?
My name's Torry Hollimon.
Torry what?
Torry to the Hollimon. Torry Hollimon. No, look, it's T-Spade. We head south on the 405. We headed to Auburn. We're about to go get down with Funk Daddy. I got another song that I'm going to record with Funk Daddy. This thing is turning out the way that I like the way it's turning out. Last time I went to Funk Daddy's, we recorded Broke Fix. Broke Fix is a song that we say that if it ain't broke, it ain't gotta be fixed. And if it ain't worth nothing, we ain't finna work for it. We ain't turning up for it if it ain't lit. So we got that, we knocked that out. He put me a quick little mix on it, put me a little coming soon video or something like that going together. And then we headed back there to record this This Could Be You Part 2. This Could Be You Part 2 is the tentative title for this. I got some things kind of working right now. My homeboy Actual hit me this morning about some music, said he's gonna be in the studio about 3 o'clock my time. So I shot Act some music, some hook ideas and so on and so forth. About to shoot him some money. I just remember I need to shoot him some money. And we might mess around and have a full song by the time we leave this thing today. So nice. You know what it is. Like I said, Spade, man, out here riding to Auburn to mess with Funk Daddy because Funk Daddy and I are slowly and quietly, very naturally and organically putting something together. I plan to find out today what he foresees. If he had an ideal situation, what would it look like? Perhaps funding, the shows, the marketing, all that. See if he has an idea about that. And then also to see what he thinks about in terms of the number of songs. All right, so should be interesting.
So things are moving and shaking. Sounds like the plan's coming together, right?
Stuff is coming together, sir. Yeah, it is.
And you mentioned the other producer is, what's his name?
No, he's a singer.
Oh,
he's a singer slash rap. I always call him a singer, but the boy be singing, rapping. His name's Actual.
Actual, okay.
Actual, yeah. He's cold, but I got another song with Act.
And he's out of Seattle too, or all around?
That boy's all around. That boy's
kind of like you.
Worldwide. Nah, he's
worldwide, huh?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, like I know about. He's definitely countrywide.
Oh,
he's
okay.
definitely within these boundaries. But yeah, real talented. You'll probably see it'd be great if you saw by the end of the day. I got to cross these white lines. Yeah, it'd be great if you are able to witness that. He was able to put that together. But I do tell you this: I'm gonna put the press on that money, and it'll probably return once I put the press on the money. He's professional. He's good at what he does, and I think I'll be having him stretch outside of his natural box.
Nice. Outside the box, outside the lines, right?
Got a color outside the lines. You want to be cool.
And what about this Mojam? I saw you got on Mojam, staying consistent with that. You got up there and did a little reggae last week. How'd that go?
Man, brother Brian. Yeah,
Brian
man,
with a Y, huh?
Yeah, with a Y, Brian with a Y. That was cool, man, because I pulled up to Mojam and I saw Brian out there, and Brian and I started engaging conversation and, TikToking and all that good stuff. And then Mo walked out. I hadn't even walked in yet. Mo walked out. She's like, you want to go on with him today? I said, yeah. It's crazy because probably like 2 weeks prior to that, And the week prior to that, I was telling Brian, I was like, man, I want to get on stage with you. I want to get up there. I want to rock with you. So for her to come out and just call that out, yeah, that was kind of fresh. And then the cool thing about it too is, so she put us on the list together, and then she came she came out and found me again. She was like, man, do you mind going on one before Brian and playing with the people before? Because if you go on with Brian, we're gonna have 3 vocalists on stage. I was like, I don't care, I'll do it. Like, I'll do the 3 vocalists. I want to rock with them. Mm-hmm. And then she was kind of giving that look like I mess with you, but like, are you sure you want? I was like, yeah. And then I just said, you know what? You do what you want to do, and I'll rock with it, no matter what. Whatever you say, you just I'll go look at the board and I'll mess with it. And somebody obviously moved around, so she put me on there. I guess she had asked Brian about it too, and Brian told me, he was like, yeah, she asked me about it. I told her, no, I'm going on stage with him tonight. So that was cool.
Brian has that real kind of reggae, mellow vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the collaboration Mo's trying to put together with the Blue Room in Bellingham? They're trying to get a Mo Jam Tuesday going in Bellingham at the Blue Room.
I thought about that when she said, I was like, boy, y'all, they gonna have to have a hotel. That's the first thing I thought about when I saw that. And they need a hotel for that night. But that'd be fresh.
Yeah.
That'd be fresh. And it would be real cool. And it would probably be worth documenting.
Yeah.
Mo and Davey. And have like some of the musicians from out there kind of go out there and spark it off, or you know what I mean? And that would be cool. How you doing? How you feel? With your mind and mama ain't seen you in a minute. Hey, still trying to be the boss, call the shot. Tie blue, feel like you ain't good with what you getting. Go ahead, big girl, go ahead, do your thing. It's a millionaire, want opinion with a name. I don't play game, never been a plaything, never been a hater, so I hope you find a great thing. This is Seattle traffic, Seattle Bellevue traffic. We trying to get where we going. And it don't feel right when it don't feel right. And it don't feel right if it ain't you, girl. This could be you. Yeah, all this here. It's a superhero car. Yeah, and it don't feel right when it don't feel right, and it don't feel right if it ain't you, girl. Yeah, all this here, girl, this could be you.
So that pin you with a name. What does that mean exactly? Can you give us a little insight to that? Is there multiple meanings to that?
What did he say right here? Hold on, you good? He say, I love the concept too. I've been through the same thing before. LOL, it's a dope idea. Let's go. Watch. I'm gonna play you some of his stuff later.
Mm-hmm. This is actual you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna sound different. And it don't feel right. You got a million millionaires or a billion billionaires. So if I say a million millionaires, that's how I wrote it. It's a million millionaires, and that's very straightforward. But if I say billion billionaires, it's kind of a little slight more tongue in cheek, which is realistic for the song too, for how I'm saying it. But you got a million millionaires want to pay. You got a bunch of dudes who will be willing to give you their last name in a heartbeat. Over nothing or over something, but not really knowing what it means to step up to the plate and hold that title and have her honor that title. But yeah, like you can go out to the club any night of the week and every dude there, I get that, I see that, and I respect it. But
what about having that billionaire mindset? Is that something you honor? Is it something you strive for?
I don't even know what a billionaire mindset is, man. What is that?
I don't know. I guess it's a certain way you move, a certain way you conduct yourself in order to get that kind of money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there definitely has to be something to that.
Mm-hmm.
There definitely has to be something to that. Yeah, you know, it lands on me, it lands on me. Otherwise, I don't work with the tools I get.
There was this lady in a church once.
Said for real, she didn't say how he do it, but she definitely said he'd do it, and I still believe her for it. Yeah, man.
One thing I wanted to bring up to you was the word vulnerability. We talked about that on our last drive up, and it turns out you led a men's group, and the discussion came up in the group. And how did that discussion go for you?
Hold on, we talked about vulnerability driving up here?
It was
Last
mentioned,
time?
I think, last
Yeah.
time. Yeah, in the combo up to the last Funk Daddy session.
That's what's happening. Consistency is key. That's a $1 billion character trait to have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Activity trait to have. Yeah, I did. I did lead the men's group last night, and it went very well. It was interesting. I always like when I get to lead like a Bible study or something, anything, to where I feel like, well, because I automatically start thinking from the teaching standpoint of things, and in order to teach something, you got to learn it, right? So it means that I end up putting a lot of time into just research and dialing down my thoughts and what I'm gonna say about things. And in this case, I was very curious. I came in very curious because this group that I'm actually in happens to, like, the handful of gentlemen that comprise the group. They have all been through some level of treatment and or therapy, right? So their whole being in existence is to appreciate and respect the vulnerable, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never really came from a place of like lead with your vulnerability, like I did. Really dope idea. Yeah, talk to this really with all the caps on that thing. Watch what I tell you, and I say that with all respect. So when I went and told them brothers, as much as I have to kind of help us navigate and flow through this thing, it's a lot that I want to learn, and ultimately, there's a couple of things several things I took away, but just a couple of things that pop in my head now. A lot of the times that we don't lead with vulnerability or show up in our relationships or moments with people in a vulnerable state, it's for the sake of leverage, is what I kind of narrowed it down to. It's like, all right, the more ammo you give away about yourself, especially weaknesses, the more people could puncture them or spread it or use it against you or whatever, right? So the more that I curate to you a lifestyle that's just this, that, and the other, where everything is taken together, is taken care of and put together, well put together. If I present that to you, it's more of a prideful type presentation, and it doesn't promote connectivity. It's the vulnerability in a conversation, whether it be asking questions, being open to different ideas, coming with, the thorns in your side, whatever they may be, your pains, your addictions, or whatever. They may feel awkward and weird, but how do you normalize that? Because what that intrinsically does, immediately or sometime shortly after, it creates a system of connection or connectivity, being able to share those with folks. And if any of you are fooled by nice aesthetic pictures of people or their lives or lifestyles, if you're fooled into believing that they're not fighting a battle and not going uphill, and then you're fooling yourselves. So what better way to let my common man or woman know that, hey, shit, I know how you feel, because I'm battling this or I'm battling that, so on and so forth. So that was kind of the take of it, man. Like, we talked about so much. The conversation stayed flowing and on topic, and it was just building and digging and building and digging. It's like a couple of dogs in a park just pulling out dirt here and then moving dirt over that way. So it was straight.
I think just in my experience moving in this industry, the music industry a little, and getting to know some of these folks, it's like, you can make connections, but it's about how you make those connections.
Talk to me. What do you mean when you say that? How you make them? Talk to me.
Well, you can come at somebody, and I approach them, you want these photos or whatever. They have this mindset in mind. Why is he giving me these photos? What's he want from it? What's he hoping to gain? That sort of thing. And you don't really need to make those connections with everybody. But if there's a few select people that you think, this is the right type of person that I want to connect with, that I could have some sort of relationship and build something with in the future, that's the kind of connection you want to make.
Right.
Like you've said before, it's not for everybody. It's for a select few.
For a select few. Anybody can do it. It's not for everybody, but it's for a select few. Yeah, man. But that's anything you do in life, man. Everybody's not gonna be able to go through your door. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is, just because you meet somebody, catch somebody with a talent, or that you just get along with, like, they may be seasonal. You know what I mean? They might be for the reason or for a meaning, but not everybody's gonna walk through every door with you. Mm-hmm. And you just gotta expect that and respect it, and just connect with folks how you connect. And which was one of the other things we talked about in last night is, like, as a society, we are not trained. We don't have the skill set. We're not knowledgeable on how to be vulnerable, right? Our daddies taught us to grow up and fight and be tough and don't cry in front of men and don't take your business outside. Don't share your business with other people to use it against you. What goes on in this house stays in this house, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And when you grow up like that, you miss a lot in terms of developing a skill set to properly be vulnerable in front of somebody. And then the flip side of that is, we don't know how to respond and react, or just deal with somebody who divulges on us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Do we misuse that information? Do we share that information with another friend, or so on and so forth? So we're getting a lot of kids who get to these teenage years, and clearly before that, where they're never really vulnerable. Nowadays it's interesting because they know the right things to say, because like YouTubes and TikToks and stuff like that, they know all the trigger words and how to say this stuff.
It seems like it's a learned behavior now. It's something you need to work on now as an older adult. You can keep learning and growing as an individual, and that's where you're at right now, kind of in this group with other people.
That's what that is.
Teaching and learning by teaching, yeah.
And my takeaway from it is that the younger generation needs to have older generational folks that are
show them that,
teaching them with this, modeling what it looks like, how it feels, and that it's normal to have things that you're not good at that ail you, addictions, and you know what I'm talking about, whether it be porn, drugs. Like, you don't have to look at yourself like you absolutely some outlandish alien who's never done it, because you look at your parents and uncles and they stuff looks squeaky clean.
Yeah.
You don't know that they sneaking off to do the same drug that you're doing, or they used to do that drug, and now, you know what I'm talking about? So often we want our kids to see us in the best light, and the best light that they can see is the natural light, with some, I think, age appropriate context around it, framework around it.
So you were talking about Mojam and how your own stuff on stage there, you're doing a little ad-lib, a little on-the-spot type of performance at Mojam every Mondays, right?
Right, correct. So, and the thing, as people are asking me about what's going on Mondays, they're thinking, like, they're seeing little clips of it, right? They like, man, Spade is up there rapping with a full band on stage. Like, this is crazy. And then, I have to correct them. Like, now I'm out here and we're just a bunch of musicians and we're all freestyling on stage, and you should come out and see it happen at least once in your lifetime, because it's a pretty one hell of a type of an experience.
So that's at the Nectar every Monday, right?
That's at the Nectar on Mondays. Right.
How long have you been doing that now? How many weeks or months?
I'm probably like 6, 7 weeks in. No, I'm further than that. I'm somewhere probably like 3.5 maybe 4 months in there. Probably something like that. It's got to be something like that. And so yeah, so my thing is though, I can't wait to start putting these musicians together and getting them right. But my thing is too is it's time for me to start performing my original music. Like, be great to have the entire band or at least however many pieces of the band. But it's not. I don't think it's too fruitful and beneficial for me to sit up and wait for the majority of them. But on top of just doing shows like over my MP3 instrumentals or whatever on my waves, I would be interested in like just going up there with a guitar player or just a keyboardist or whatever the case it might be.
Get some live instrumentation in the mix.
Even if it's not, you know what I mean, if it's just me and an acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm. And have you met a few folks already that you feel comfortable doing that with, putting your music out there with? And they're starting to come together?
I've met a whole bunch of them who are capable of it. Now I was trying to just find out who's willing to get in the boat with me. You know what I mean? And what needs to be done in order for them to get into the boat with me. And the truth is, I don't have no whole bunch of bread just to throw at somebody. So I would like to know that, you know, there's really is some interest to what we're doing and you would like to explore it. Because I am willing to throw something at it, and I don't want it just to be a money throw. I want it to be something that somebody's digging and that would still be interested even if the money was low at a point or whatever the case it may be. So I'm not looking for a transaction, even though I understand it's pretty normal in the business. At least starting off, I want somebody who at least listen to what the vision is and buy into it a little bit.
One thing I wanted to bring up with you was the law of averages. So we're talking about 150,000 songs released every day. I've heard that number put out there.
Yeah.
And you're going up there. This is the second song you're recording with Funk Daddy.
Yeah.
And are you hoping to be part of that 150,000 that goes out? Are you hoping to win the lottery? That's the thing. You got to play. You got to put it out there. 150,000 song chance. You look at it like that, playing the averages. No. Creating the art.
Just meant for some shit, man. And it's just a matter of putting it in a framework, and I'm just different.
So when you hear those numbers come through in these social media posts, you just think?
I don't think about them.
No?
I don't think about them. They do me no good to think about them. I just believe in me, you know what I mean? And I believe in the authentic me being enough for whatever it is, you know what I mean? And so, I just do what I've always done. Anytime I've ever made music or rap music or been on stage, motherfuckers would come up and be like, man, that shit is tight, or this is this. Like, I went back in the gym for the first time since the kids got out of school today, and there was like huddles around me. You know what I mean? Andy was in there ready to fight somebody and cuss at people, and Andy is the most church-going man. I'm just like, I've been getting messages talking about, man, they miss you in the gym. People asking about you in the gym. You just gotta go, brother. So it's just a matter of putting it in a package, putting it on stages, put it on some nice marketing pieces, put the music out, let folks hear the music, let the guy walk through the crowd a little bit, let him show up to your establishment 3, 4, 5 times. And the bartenders care about him and the way that he treats them, and the patrons care about him and the way that, you know what I mean? And then you start getting all this collective of good people that I got that know me for being a good doggone person and just being who I am, and then we bring them into a doggone venue to where they can watch me be a master of the ceremonies. Right now I go in and I have to mix in and wait. I've never even got on the microphone and been like, hey, my name's T-Spade. If for whatever reason it doesn't feel like the place and the time at that, you know what I mean? So T-Spade is very little known, and I wanted to be that way somewhat. But we're getting closer to that time, and so it's time for me to start hitting these venues with somebody who can play an instrument and fuck them folks up. You know what I'm talking about? Just going there and do it, and then like, bam, it's gonna be a little small fire over here, a little small fire, small fire, small fire. Oh, we keep seeing him performing with just the doggone keyboards. Oh, shoot. Hey, Spade, you want a drummer? Yeah, I can use a drummer. Which one of y'all? I'm gonna pick the one I like the best. Right? And then, oh, you need a bass? I know you, man. I play the bass. And it's just like, and then these wildfires are gonna pick and they're gonna grow. And then when they get good, we're gonna start linking with some good, really good performers and club promoters and so on, venue promoters and stuff like that, and really start throwing some nice, classy, well put together events that are just gonna help the flame and the fire just, you know, continue to roar. So it's all there. It's just, again, these early process steps are interesting. But and then watch those folks that you were speaking about endorsing the product a little bit earlier. When they see that start moving, and other people are posting these shows today or getting online and be like, man, we seen the performance and man, we didn't expect that, or man, that was fulfilling. That hit my soul, and man, I can't, bam. Then you start seeing things rolling.
I think one term I mentioned to you this week was analysis paralysis. In terms of like overthinking things a little too much.
Yeah.
That it kind of stops momentum, you know, if you think about it too much. You know, in the reseller community, there's a lot of talk about slow sales and, you know, why are my sales so slow? You know, is it this, is it that? They all think about it in terms of all you have to do is do a little work, you know, put a few more listings up, those sales will start going again. And I think in the music industry, you know, you got to put stuff out, put out new music, repackage old stuff, and do the work.
Yeah.
You think about it too much, you get stuck in that analysis paralysis, you know.
Did you say that for a reason, or are you just making...
I was just curious what you think about that in terms of how it relates to music. Is there parallels to that?
I mean, in everything in life, if you study, you know, you study long, you study wrong. But studying and wondering if it's right or if it's not, if you're doing that a long time, then I can see paralysis. In my case, if I know what I want and I'm just more so waiting till I get that, then it's not paralysis. I'm not going back and forth on it. I know what I want to see.
Just patience.
And we're going to start with that, and then we'll adjust from that. It's not just saying, hey, I'm here, and I'm just going to jump out and I'm going to show you me, and then we'll adjust. This is how I want to start, and then once we do that, then yeah, we'll be on the move and say, oh no, we won't do that anymore. That didn't make sense. That makes sense over there. Okay, like, yeah. So it's kind of tricky too, right? Because on that song, I had this idea of what the verse would be. I already knew obviously what the topic of the song was going to be, but I had immediately the words came for the hook, or pretty quickly it did at least. And so now when you know you have a singer who's going to sing it, it's very difficult for me to think like the singer, like on a deeper level than anything basic, because I don't know octaves and how to take notes and raise them and bend them and all that kind of stuff and do it well. So I gave actual like the freedom to say, hey, look, you can take what I got, do it dead on. You can take what I got, use some of it. You can use it for inspiration. You can use it for a topic, for a melody, cadence, whatever. But don't be married to it, right? So if there's something that you got and you want to run with it, just run with it, and let's see what it does. So it's always an interesting place to think, like, I got something but a show would be great, like, as a singer.
So Actual, again, is the gonna sing the hook for it.
Yeah, the hook, singing the hook.
And you gave him a little bit of creative freedom to do what he wants with it?
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if he takes that or if he just takes what I got and does that.
What would you prefer to see? Would you prefer to see him do it how you gave it to him, or?
I would love to see him have something different or something to add to it, because I think what I have is basic, but at the same time, you know, basic is, I think there's something else that can be done, at least being able to make it swim and hit different melodies, opposed to what I have.
So being around all that improv at Mojam, you kind of want to see him do a little improv on it himself and see what he can do with it?
Just see, like, and that's what I asked him too, because sometimes, right, like, if you send somebody your idea early, then they hear that before they put their, you know, honest virgin ears to it, then they got that in their head, and they're trying to incorporate it somewhere, somehow, like, this is what he wanted. So, and I asked him, man, I don't want to step on your creative process. And he's like, just send it to me. So I sent it to him earlier, and I just did it through my phone. But hopefully I can pull this up and it turns on, and then I can see what it sounds like myself.
He's gonna get back with it that quick, is he? Huh?
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, like I said, I don't know how much work he was doing today or how many features or whatnot, but he said he was getting in at 3 our time, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. So we'll see if he made something shake, man.
And how do you think it went today with the funk? Was it everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, man. I can't be more happy, man. As you see, we get there, it's just known he had a second finding the beat. Thank God, because he hid the beat on himself so that he wouldn't get rid of it, because I purchased the beat. And again, it's just simple and straightforward, working with funk. There was a second in there where I was wondering, I was like, ooh wee, I don't want to fumble, because I can take a verse, probably like most rappers, especially me, I could take the same verse and I can rap it 15 different times and it's gonna come out 15 different ways. There was something about this song that when I first got it, and then when I hear it in my head, I hear the delivery just being steady, kind of growl, kind of deep, just kind of riding in that pocket in there. And what happens is, when you're just so used to rapping it just for the sake of rapping it and getting it out, and then the repetition of it, you're not really worried about the pocket so much and the volume and the tone. You're just getting it off. So it's always kind of a challenge for me to get into a studio and find out what T-Spade I want to bring to the party for that particular song. And if you probably recall, during there was a point where I started low, got more hype, funk like the more hype, but it was just in my gut, like, this song I'm not supposed to be up there, this is supposed to be. And so I got back to that, and I was happy about that. So
yeah, finding the right energy for the song.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so important, and that's one of the things with my growth is, especially when I used to rap, I just used to be rapping just to get my verse off, like whatever I had to do to get my verse off. But then I started kind of really paying attention. And actually, it was Chris Brown that actually made me think about this. And I was like, when you listen to his songs and how he records his songs and layers and stacks them, he's very deliberate and intentional with those. Everything has a purpose, and it works together for the greater good. So it was one time, or a series of times, I'm listening to him, and I was like, getting the stuff off isn't enough. You got to actually perform on that actual recorded record. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's going to go off to the world. So you want to get that one as close to dialed in as the vision that you hear in your head. You understand what I'm saying? So
I think it's interesting how a lot of these topics we talk about, parallel life, like you tell your sons, sometimes read the room, son. find that right energy for the room.
Right.
And you're doing the
Straight
same thing there in the studio.
For the record, straight up. Yeah.
I heard you tied down, brother, get you bogged down. Keep it in your thoughts, scared to let your guard down. You done held your heart stomped over, torn away at the seams. New man, same game, but a similar scene. It don't seem like nothing that you dreamed of. All you know is heartbreak. You ain't never seen love, but all these games for kids. I hope that you forgive. If you can, maybe try to change the way that you live. Cause it's a show, little mama. We ain't promised tomorrow. I want you and all you. All mine is the drama, but you don't act like you wanna act like you just wanna talk back to me, get your back tight. Know you wanna make love to me all up under the stars and get lost, go far. Me and you in the car, and it's a full moon, and you full bloom. It's been too long, couldn't be too soon. And it ain't real good if it ain't you. Yeah, it's gonna be you. All this here, baby, it's gonna be you. Yeah, cause it don't feel right, and it don't feel right, and it don't feel right if it ain't you, girl. It's gonna be you. Yeah, all this here. Time keep ticking, time keep talking, time to tell you what it do. Yeah, time don't listen, time keep slipping for the record. I'd rather be with you. Time keep ticking, time keep talking, time to tell you what it do. Time don't listen, time keep slipping for the record. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you. It's 4 minutes.
4 minutes, is it?
3:43.
3:43.
Even with this long, so that's where I was concerned, right? Because it has this long intro on it, and I feel like the intro has to be on there. I feel like it just sets the song up so well. But it made me think about how long I wanted to make the verses and how many hooks I wanted to have and what I wanted to do with the bridges and so on and so forth. So that was the tricky part, because also the beat was not formatted to how I wanted to arrange the song. So it makes it difficult trying to visualize with your ears bridges going over parts where it's actually playing hook music and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that long intro is necessary. It kind of gets your brain in that mode. We're gonna go on this little 4-minute journey, and you're gonna hear this little magical twinkle almost. I mean, sitting in the studio for 3 hours listening to that, I was getting a little sleepy hearing that over and over. But as it comes together, it holds up for 4 minutes. It keeps you going. But
yeah, that woozy part.
Yeah.
Which is the other part too, that again, like with the music that I make moving forward, why I'm so interested in having musicians. So I'm gonna have a bass player play live bass on that, and I'm looking at getting Brian to play that live lick. And perhaps change the lick up here and there and so on and so forth. So Funk don't know that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Brian with a Y gonna work his magic,
Brian
huh?
with a Y. And then I'm gonna slide it to Brother Jason with a J. Who's my goddaughter's stepfather.
Oh yeah, on the bass.
Yeah. So I'm interested to that, but to the point that I was initially making is I enjoy records where I hear multiple voices on records, and I think one of the like secret superpowers about records that I make is if I have other voices on there. I think it works well to break up my voice, and since I have all these kind of bridge ideas and hook ideas and so on and so forth, I don't necessarily think them for my voice. I would love to hear what it sounds like with other people's voice on it, and then again, I just think it gives the song parody. You know what I mean? It takes places. So
it's a good idea.
Like even on Broke Fix, I sent that to T, because I seen her the other night, and she was like, "Man, I've been going through some stuff, and so, but I still want to get on this song with you." So I sent it to her, and I was just like, listen to the whole song. Learn the whole song, and wherever you can hear yourself at, think about yourself there, and then, you know, we can put you on everything, and then go back and listen to the song and say, okay, we'll take her off here, leave her here, leave it there, let's try it. So I would like to hear her somewhere in some of those, one little buddy, maybe two little buddy, right? She can be on there saying it with me. We can go from my voice to her voice, something like that.
That'd be interesting, yeah. Get a different tone in there, huh?
Yeah, I think we'll break it up real nicely.